Hello, this is Victor at restoringmercedes.com. Today I have kind of unusual video because I never seen this before in my career here. So I had a customer I did throttle body for a year ago. This is from an S-Class. So the throttle body worked for about a year. He says that it stopped working. So I was like, okay, well, it's warranty and everything, let me see what's wrong with it. So I had it delivered back to me, and I look it all up. I opened it up, and all I see is just a pile of rust just falling right off it from inside. As you can see, this is all, it's disassembled because I built another unit for the customer, but the motor still spins surprisingly. I don't know how this one didn't get seized up, but all this rust is just unbelievable. This is where the clutch coil used to sit. You can see this thing is also pretty rusted. Even a little washer over here is just rusted to the case, which is, I had never seen that happen. I suppose, I don't know. There's another piece. So this is the little stoppie over here is rusted in. It does not spring back as it's supposed to be. It's a spring-loaded piece that comes out, and it's stuck in there for good. What else? On the other side, potentiometer side, I removed the potentiometer. I tried to fix it, but it's just long gone. It's etched out. So this is the rust spots on the potentiometer side. And let's see, where is that potentiometer? Here's the potentiometer. Now I cleaned it very nicely. I cleaned it. It's just spent good amount of time cleaning it, and it seems like it's okay. But the problem is the water, it got in between. The potentiometer is a composite piece, so it's not let me just shut down the phone. Potentiometer is a composite piece. There is a graphite surface, and then it's molded in between plastic, and then you got these holes that go through and connect. See these ones, these little things that go through, and as you can see, they're behind plastic there because it's molded. And if you look really close, metal contacts are molded in plastic. So basically rust got inside, and the rust shorted out somewhere in between plastic and metal contacts inside. So it's etched out, and clean it did not produce any results, and you cannot separate plastic from metal contacts. It's molded one piece. Once you do so, you're gonna break graphite, and it's the end of it. But it is the end of it anyhow. This thing is, it's clean, but it's no good. So now the idea here is that I'm going to help out the customer, get him another unit. So he says that I have 2 throttle bodies I can mail you, and you mail me another unit. 2 other units were from V12, and you're not ready for this, but here are the ones that came in. That is how they came in. So it's sort of like a pattern over here. I mean, I never seen anything like this in my life. This is just, this unit is a year old, supposedly. I mean, it is a year old. I know I did it a year ago. So all this rust is there. This is not a year old, but this is just something that I never seen in my life. Such a terrible state that is not even funny. Now, the gear, so this is the rust that's just falling right off. I'm trying to turn the motor, it's completely seized. The gears are completely seized. This thing is seized. Like, everything is seized. It's just a pile of rust. This is all the rust inside. So I was like, okay, well, that is something that I can't even take anything from this unit particularly. The second one I didn't even open because it's in the same shape. On the outside I saw a lot of etching, so I said, okay, well, maybe I'll clean it off. But it's not, there's no purpose. I mean, there's nothing I can do with this. It's just completely rusted, like you can see down under. You can see all this just like rust, which is amazing to see this kind of condition because I never seen that happen before. So this unit, and oh yes, I was trying to remove a cover on the other side to look at the potentiometer, and the bolt does not even want to unscrew because it's seized, it's fused inside the case, so it has to be either cut off. But I really don't have any interest in even opening that side, because if this side is such a horrible shape, the other side is going to be in same condition. So it's the same, it's pretty much same shape as the one I rebuilt, but probably set in moisture for much longer. So that's basically for the second one. This is the one that was supposed to trade, and basically at this point another unit is still needed. So I built one unit, and here it is. This unit came from a 120,000 mile car. So I just want to make pictures of insides. Now, because I use military grade cables, they don't rust because they're silver plated. So I can totally reuse the loom, because again, my wires are forever. They withstand chemicals, they withstand water, rust, corrosion, you name it. Military grade cables, that's what they're made for, super harsh environment. So the wire and loom itself, that's what I put in any of my throttle bodies. Wire and loom itself was completely unaffected because of the expensive wires being used. Now what I had to do is that I did use the coil that came in from this unit, because coil is molded in plastic and it also used military cables, well, Teflon coated at least, and the coil is okay. So coil is not going to rust because it's enclosed in plastic. This is the coil, for example. So this one I reused because this is quite an expensive piece, and in this rusted unit it did work. As you can see, coil cannot rust. It's all one molded plastic piece. That's why I reused it. Now, potentiometer I had to source from the core unit, which is something valuable, but I could not reuse flooded potentiometer because there's corrosion inside, like I explained earlier. I had to source all new gears, the return spring, washers, the motor, case, the middle, the actual middle piece, which is this piece right here. That's the whole shaft. It has sliders on it. That I had to put in. I had to put in a new case cover. This is the flooded one. That's the one that came from this water damaged throttle body. As you can see also, it was siliconed. I do not silicone them anymore because water cannot really get in. And if water needs to get in, if you look at this opening here, this is a breather. Each and every throttle body on Mercedes has this breather. So water can easily get through this opening. You cannot and should not ever silicone this, because this is throughout opening for moisture to evaporate from the throttle body. This is from the factory, so you silicone it or not, if water is going to need to get in, it'll get in through here. It's unavoidable. So it's just like a little, kind of like a mesh thing, and well, that's what it is, a breather, so the water can travel, moisture can travel through, outside the case. So that's what I put in. I put the cover on the other side from another unit, as you can see it. This is a nice unit. This is a nice unit. I mean, I really like it. It's from a 95 and came from the SL, but all the internals basically replaced with the S-Class unit. So as you can see, it works just fine. I activated it. Gears lubricated, motor is quiet, cleaned up the board, new ribbon cable, because also, see this ribbon cable, when it gets water under, you have a problem because resistance changes. So I could not reuse this ribbon cable just because it would give you issues. So therefore I used new ribbon cable from the source, from the core unit, and basically that's how it looks. As you can see, it tries to adjust itself. It sees readings change fast. Activation is perfect. It's been on my bench for about like 14 hours now, so it's nice and hot. Coil does not shut off. Unit opens and closes, no problems. So this is the unit that I was gonna mail the customer, and you can install it on his car and fix it that way, because I can't do anything with water damage. I mean, that's just something that, like I said, I've seen units come from junkyards, from like parts cars, and units that come from cars that sit in the backyards for years, and people trying to fix them. Yeah, you see a little bit of a corrosion, some rust on, for example. Oh, that's the other part actually from this unit. Now you do see some surface rust, usually from cars in Michigan, northern states, because salt, but just slight, because again, the throttle body is not 100% sealed unit. You also have a little bit of moisture that can travel through the bearing cases, because there are no seals there. It's just precision made opening for the shaft to just get in there. So it's not 100% sealed unit. Therefore, you will have a little bit of moisture, and especially when the car sits outside for years. But this is basically what happens here. So again, this is the unit that's repaired and ready to go. My name is Victor at throttle.com. Thanks for watching.